Well, hello to everybody on this fine Saturday. Hopefully, it's a beautiful and wonderful day wherever you are in the world. It is, it's nice and sunny today for me at least. It's kind of chilly, but that's okay. It's a beautiful day. Please watch Star Wars. Come on, you're already starting out the live stream. Tell me to watch Star Wars. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Hello to everybody in the chat. Hello. Cold and wet where you are. I'm sorry to hear that. That's never fun. Boya, what's up? Michael Anderson, hello. How are you doing? Azim, I'm terrible at names, but hello. Ijaz, hello. How are you? Mark Villa, you graduated as an MSc data analyst last year and you're looking to land an IT role entry level. You have GitHub projects on SQL 2. Any advice, mate? All right, so you graduated in data analytics. You have GitHub projects related to SQL. You're looking to get an entry level IT role, so you're looking to get an entry level like data, some type of data role or business analyst role, data analytics type of role. There's many different types of positions I think that would align with your knowledge that you have there, your skills, your with your degree, or yeah, with your degree, with your projects. So do you have like what types of jobs have you been applying for, first of all? That's what I guess I have a question back for you. We need to do some discovery here so that I can give you some advice. But one bit of advice that I give you if you're applying for jobs and you don't do this already, for every job that you apply for, this is going to be a pain in the butt, I know. Please make sure that you're tailoring that resume to each specific job. So, take all of the skills and knowledge that you have, right? That that you have, and then try to align that with like the job description that you're seeing and try to sprinkle in, what you can into your resume that aligns with that job description. So again, like the knowledge that you have, align that with the skills that are on there. Chat GPT is a wonderful tool to help you do this. I have a video on this. I just put it out, I don't know, I want to say recently, but I feel like it wasn't too recently. Maybe I can get on this YouTube machine and find it for you. Let's do that. YouTube Studio. And we'll go to content. I think this one might be a good one. And hang on, I'm looking. There's like this other video that I did about resume stuff. Yes, it was fix your dang resume. So here's one video that might be helpful for you, Mark. And here is the other video that might be helpful for you as well. Give those a shot. I'll check the chat, see if you respond back. Hello to everybody in the chat. Hello, Dylan Harrington. How are you? Hello, Happiness. Jonathan, how are you doing? Boya, you're actually working in technical support engineer. You need to change your domain. Tell me what domain, well, what would you like to do? So this, man, this is like, hi, I have to gather my thoughts before I just start blabbering. What you could do, a great thing that you can do if you really want to figure out like what you want to do next, go out, look out job descriptions for all the different job roles that sound interesting to you. You can like write down a list of like, hey, like I like these different jobs and I like those different jobs. These ones sound like a lot of fun. And then once you like go through that, like really dive deeper into those jobs, into the like, what they are actually doing day to day. So let's say like, for instance, the next job that you see that sounds interesting is a network engineer. Go out and Google and look and YouTube and look up like a day in the life of a network engineer. So you can try to understand like what it is that they do on a day to day. Like, and if you still find that interesting, what they're doing in the day to day, then that might be like the next quote unquote domain that you can travel down towards networking. But really take the time and like look into the different jobs, job types, careers, job titles, all those different things that are out there. and find the ones that are going to more specifically align to your interests or like the current skills and things that you do have. I hope that helps. Jake Gibson, hey, hope you're well and going through an interview process for being an IT recruitment consultant. Do you have any advice for this? G. Oh man, well, like going through an interview process being an IT. Hmm. Well, the recruitment thing is like a salesman, really. That's how I like to. That's how I really like look at the like recruiters. They're just salesmen. Um, most of them are not the best. No offense to you. So, I guess the best advice I have for you is just sell yourself, right? And sell what you're doing and sell, kind of like the potential that you could have with people and working with people, how you love to collaborate with people and help them and things like that, but how you love to drive, um, you know, revenue, sales, essentially. Like you want to place clients, you want to place your yes, I guess I will call them clients. You want to place your clients in hopes of, achieving like success and like pushing your number. Like, let's go out and go on Chat GPT. I'm like trying to like butcher this, and it's just like it's not coming to my head in the way that I want it to. So this is what I'm gonna do. Um, Now I'm like getting distracted here. I apologize. I have to close out all these tabs. It's driving me nuts. Sorry. Um, all right, now I got like completely off track, so that's my fault. Um, okay, your question. You're going through interview process of being an IT recruitment consultant. Do I have any advice for this? Gave you some advice. Then my brain just completely shut down because I got distracted. I was gonna go to Chat GPT for something, and then I completely forgot. So that's my fault, Jake. I'm sorry. But yeah, so just I think going back to the original kind of advice that I was going with is making sure that you're selling yourself, that you um, are showing that you have an interest in working with people, that you work well with people, things like that. I don't know, man. Like recruitment, nobody likes recruiters, just to be honest with you. So it's hard to like answer that question from my perspective. Also, just knowing like the experiences that I've had with recruiters, it's like I would love for recruiters just to be honest and like, that's not what they would want in an interview necessarily. So what I would want to see in a recruiter and what like the like other recruiters want to see in themselves or their peers, completely different things. Do I have my Net Plus or only the Security Plus? I only have the Security Plus. The the Network Plus is a waste of money, to be completely honest with you. To obtain that certification is a waste of money. The knowledge that you would get from learning the information on that certification, extremely valuable. I would recommend it for anybody who's looking to learn networking, but I would not obtain that certification. It is a waste of money. And I say this because you can go get the Cisco CCNA for cheaper, for less dollars. And that the CCNA is like 10 times more valuable and marketable than the CompTIA Network Plus. Those are just facts. I'm sorry. St. Nicholas fan, you're 31. You don't know anything about IT, but you're very interested. You're going to college for an IT operations diploma. You'll be 33. It is discouraging having to start from the bottom again at this age. Totally understand that, man. There's a lot of people who are going through the same, like literally like the same steps that you are. And some of them are even older than you, like 10, even 20 years older than you, who are like going back at this and are going back to the, looking at their careers and saying, I want to do something different. And it's okay. Get that it's totally discouraging. I understand that. The best advice that I could have for you and anybody who is older who is trying to transition into IT is really take your time and try to understand what it is that you want to do. Being that you're older, you bring some things to the table that like younger people don't. Those are mostly just facts for the most part, like there's just a lot of job and life experience that older people can bring to an organization, and that's always going to be valuable for some people. So there's always going to be value in older people changing careers to IT. But going back to what I was trying to say is make sure you take the time and figure out what it is that you want to do. Because oftentimes you might not have to completely start way back at the bottom. If you take the time and really try to align like your training, your learning to a specific path that you want to take, oftentimes you can find that you may be able to skip some of those entry level positions, just due to like your due diligence and your learning journey and the path that you're taking, the effort that you're putting forth, and then like your past experience. Of course, depending on what that could be, oftentimes that could be very beneficial to you in just kind of advancing your career in IT a little bit quicker from the start than uh, like younger people who may not have that life experience that you do, if that makes sense. So don't get too discouraged, man. Like it'll be all right. You'll be all good. Demetrius, you recently got an IT support assistant position in the MIS department of the university. You study computer information systems. Does that look better on a resume rather than internships? Um, I mean, so that's always going to depend on whoever's looking at your resume. Either way, like that's going to be like some type of experience on your resume. So whether that's the internship or that IT support assistant position, that is like validating, or that is like experience that can be validated. So that's like, very good to have on your resume either way. Whether or not, like does one look better than the other? I mean, again, depends on who's looking at that and how much weight that they want to throw versus a support assistant position versus an internship. It's really probably going to boil down more to what did you do in the internship and what did you do in the IT support assistant position? Like what were the job tasks and duties in each of those? Which one had like which has offers more, right? Like which did you do more things in, right? Um yeah, so it doesn't matter. Like it really doesn't. Jake, would I say consuming your content would make you better at your job? Consuming my content make you better at your job? To be a recruiter, um, if you were trying to recruit people at an entry level, so that and that here, this is going to put like this in perspective for you, right? So, from a recruitment standpoint, if you want to go and be an IT recruiter, like and you're asking this specific question, uh this channel would definitely help you from a foundational level. It helps many people from a foundational like entry level. That is not probably going to be most of what you would like be recruiting for jobs. And I say this because most recruiters are very money hungry, and there is no money in recruiting entry level IT roles. Like that, there's just not like what you like the turn like what you would see for commission and all that stuff isn't going to be as high as it would be for you to place somebody in like a senior role or like a pen tester or a database administrator or something. So that's like one thing that you'll have to like understand, I guess. I don't know, man. So yeah, like there's fundamentals here that probably would be helpful for you, but what don't you guys like about recruiters? Recruiters are notorious for just ghosting people like nonstop. There and like especially just in general, man. Like when you sign up for any of like the job sites and stuff, or you put your resume out there, like or you get on LinkedIn, you constantly have just recruiters hounding you down nonstop. And again, like they do like this mass reach out when they have a new position. So they send out like messages to like probably hundreds, if not thousands of people. They don't get back to everybody, right? And yeah, there's lots of bad stories about recruiters. Yeah, you can just scour the internet. There's tons. I think for the most part, like most people have this feeling that like, a recruiter's not really there to help you. Like that's what it's supposed to be about. But it's just like at the end of the day, all they care about is money. So that's why I kind of talk to you about like, yeah, entry level stuff. Like there's no money in that. Anyway, St. Nicholas fan, thanks for the encouragement. You love my videos. You've been binging my content ever since you decided to change careers. Well, you're welcome, man. Good luck to you. I appreciate that. Any thoughts on VMware removing free licensing? I mean, it was only a matter of time. Just go use VirtualBox because it's free. There's lots of co-op opportunities in the course you're taking. Hopefully that helps you job-wise. What course are you taking? And good luck to you. Matthew. Hello, sir. You love my channel. Thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. Do you, by any chance, know of any solutions architect YouTubers that dive deep into this role, specifically AWS? No, but I think like Duan Lightfoot would probably like get you there somewhere. Let me open his channel. I don't think he's like an AWS architect. He's like I think he does DevOps mostly. But he's been pumping out more content lately, and he does he works for AWS. So I think he could probably maybe help you. Otherwise, dude, I'm sorry, but I don't know. But good luck to you. Carter Bryant, you recently interviewed for SOC Tier 1 role, and you asked them about their tech stack for SIEM, the DC, and then things went cold. Is that an inappropriate question to ask? No, it's not. Not at all. An inappropriate question to ask. That's a great question to ask. I don't know. It's kind of weird that they would have went cold. It's like you're just trying to figure out and understand like what it is that they're using in that environment. More than appropriate to ask. I encourage people to ask questions during interviews because it goes both ways. So, if they went cold after asking a question like that, that could be a red flag for you, So I would like think back in that entire interview process now and see if there's anything else that maybe stood out as well. But yeah, that seems kind of silly for them to be weird about that. Hello, JC Fine Production. Dario, you are currently an IT technician 1. You want to move towards system administrator. Any advice on that? Lots of great advice for you. Are you ready? Start taking notes. That's the first bit of advice. Really, like always, you should be taking good notes. But anyway, if you're IT technician 1, you're probably already working with system administrators in your environment. The first thing that I would do is reach out to your system administrators for your organization and your managers. Tell them, hey, I want to be a system administrator one day. Is there any way that I can assist or shadow our system administrators and maybe help them with some things and learn some things from them? That would be your first bet. And I would definitely push for that as much as you can, because that's going to be also verifiable experience then you could then put on your resume. Like if you had assisted, the system administrator, like, setting up a bunch of VMs and whatever, setting up data backups and I don't know, configuring SCCM, who knows, right? There's so many different things that you could be doing. But definitely that's going to be the first thing that you do. Since you're already working in IT. The next thing that you can do is, since you're already working in IT, you've probably identified different areas of system administration that you could maybe start learning more about. Again, that could be like SCCM, data, it could be like virtualization, Microsoft, like there's so many different like specializations with under like system administrator that you can start looking at. And I would start taking a look at those. Again, like some of the ones that I listed, and dive into those a little bit, see what of those are of interest to you. But hopefully you're going to be able to like shadow or work with the people in your environment, and that would give you a better idea of maybe what you could be learning that would be helpful in your day to day. that I think that that's really some of like the best advice that I could give you. Other than that, there's certifications and training and stuff out there that you can get, but you just kind of have to like figure out like uh where you should kind of like maybe, and I don't want to say necessarily specialize, but you do need to kind of like have a more than a fundamental understanding of a few different system administrator types of duties, responsibilities, aspects, if that's kind of the route that you want to take. So again, like, it's just getting sit down with your sysadmins, see what they're doing, see what you can do to help them, and see if you can like take any of what they're doing and bring that kind of home with you, and see if you can kind of like replicate that in your own home environment. Whether that's SCCM and stuff like that. Again, I think this is just the best advice that I'm going to give you. I'm just going to stop there because I'm just going to keep running in circles probably. But that's good advice, I think. I hope. Dylan, you worked at the same place for 8 years and you feel like you've hit a wall learning from peers, projects, not interesting since we've done so much already. Is it time to move on? Yes, it's absolutely time to move on. I mean, if you want to, you could hang out there your whole life. But if you feel like you hit a wall learning and that's not enjoyable for you anymore, then definitely GTFO. GTFO hard. Go have fun. There's plenty of opportunities out there for somebody who has 8 years of experience and who wants to learn and do more things. So yes, spread your wings and fly, far away and have fun, and good luck to you. Hello, Avalanche. As a person working as a software technical vendor, tech support, okay. For a few years, there's no clear career path. Yeah, it's not even a clear job. Okay. What other roles can you branch into easily with your skill set? I have no idea what the F you do. Software technical vendor, tech support. So you work for a specific vendor, I'm taking it, software vendor. So let's say it's like Palo Alto, for instance, right? Like firewalls. There's plenty of opportunities out there for you, right? Like, I don't know like what software it is that you're utilizing. But it's so what you could do is take your job duties, responsibilities, and things like that, your resume, and I'm dead serious what I'm about to tell you. Take that and throw it into Chat GPT, and then have Chat GPT give you recommendations based on based on your resume, based on your skill set, your technical knowledge, and like your certifications, degrees, all that type of stuff, right? And then say, hey, what types of jobs would align with my experience and skill set? And it's going to come through for you. Because I can't answer this like that question specifically without asking you like probably at least 5 more questions to really help you out. So like, I'm sorry like that I have to give you kind of like a BS, like, hey, go ask Chat GPT, but without like sitting here and talking with you directly. That's going to be your best bet. And it will be very helpful for you. You have a health background. You just finished a diploma in computer technical support. How do you start a career in cloud computing, please? That's also not really an easy question to answer. How much cloud knowledge and experience do you have? Do you have any certifications that are cloud related? Those are going to be kind of like the first steps that you need to take, is really diving deep into the world of the cloud. And then even more specifically, like, what areas of the cloud are of interest to you? Everything is in the cloud these days. So, what specific types of things are you looking to do within the cloud? And once you can identify that, once you kind of figure that out, then you can start aligning like a learning journey for you, so that you can start obtaining all the skills, methodologies, learning more about the tools and stuff that they use in the cloud world, and how those align with what you want to do. You don't know anything about recruiters. Do they lose money if they unwittingly hire a dud and it backfires on the company? I don't know. I forget how that works. It's a great question. That'd be a great question for a recruiter. I don't know. I think if like they hire a dud, like so the thing with like when companies work with recruiters, typically like let's say Cisco works with a company, like a recruiting company, and like Cisco hires like 10 people from that recruiting company. That recruiting company probably has like hundreds of thousands of people that they work with, right? But anyway, Cisco hires like 10 people. Say like five of them don't work out. Well, okay, five of them don't work out. And Cisco just goes back to the recruiting company and says, hey, I need five more people. And then that recruiting company sends five more people, and then they could come back and be like, hey, like two of these people don't work, we're getting rid of them, send me two more people. That's kind of how that stuff works sometimes, but it really depends on like, what types of terms and stuff each of those organizations have for working with one another. So yeah, it's there's like answers upon answers, and then yeah, I start to think about all like the different like possibilities, and then my mind just like spirals. So hopefully that was helpful for you. I'm trying to keep up with the chat, y'all. Jonathan, you have your second round interview next week for an IT security specialist. Good luck to you. Any advice on what questions to expect and tips on to be the best candidate? Yeah, of course. I have videos for this. Like a video that I just put out recently. And I think it'll be very, very helpful for you. Hopefully you have the job description for this job, but this video right here that I just pasted in the chat, that would be the one that you want to check out. So take, everything in that job description for the security specialist, throw it in a ChatGPT and say, hey, ChatGPT, what types of questions could I possibly receive in a job interview based on this job description? And I'm telling you, like ChatGPT comes through clutch with this. It does a phenomenal job. One thing to note, it's not going to be 100% accurate. It's not going to be for sure. Like those are the questions that you're going to get, but it gives you kind of an idea of what you could expect, right? And that's kind of like, it's just a great way to prepare. So go through that list of, questions and stuff that ChatGPT throws back to you. See how much of that you know. For some of the stuff that you may not know, like just look up some of the fundamentals of those different technologies and things like that. Outside of that, the best advice that I could give for you is do not lie during the interview. If you don't know something, whatever that question is, if you don't have the answer for it, be honest. Say, no, I don't know, but I know how to figure out the solution to that answer. And these are the resources that I would use. Like anytime you have to answer a question where you don't know the answer, make sure you rebuttal instantly and saying, no, but this is what I would do. And these are these are the resources I would use, or these are the steps that I would figure it out. There's so many different like ways to answer questions where you don't know the answer, so that um, you come out looking even stronger than you would if you did have the answer. Because many times during a job interview, it's not always about having the right answer. And I know that probably sounds really weird, but it's really not. It's about showing your thought process. It's about explaining how you would do things and the way that you would go about troubleshooting things. So I want everybody to understand that you don't always have to have the answers in a job interview. And even when you don't have those answers, it will be okay if you explain your thought process and you walk them through what you would do. That's what they really want to see. They want to see that more than you having the answer. That type of insight into your thought process is so much more valuable to the person interviewing you than you having the correct answer. So I hope all that's helpful for y'all. Kathy Chambers, I love you. I hope you're having a great weekend as well. Thank you for stopping by. Cap, you recently got your A plus. Congratulations. Having a hard time getting a help desk position. Any advice you could give? Oh man, having a hard time with the help desk position? Sure. I guess let's see. Are you getting interviews? If you're not getting interviews, it's your resume. I have like a video on on like redoing your resume. That could be very, very helpful for you. But specifically with like help desk positions, make sure that you're highlighting that and if you don't know this already, but like Active Directory, go out and learn Active Directory. And more specifically, like you could download VirtualBox, you could download Windows Server, you can spin up a virtual Windows Server operating system, and you can promote that server to a domain controller. You could set up Active Directory from this virtual machine, and then you can start adding users to this, and then you can start like resetting passwords and things like that. Those are the things that you're going to be doing in a help desk role, and you really need to have like a fundamental understanding of how all of that works. So if you don't know anything about Active Directory yet, that is the first thing that you need to go out and learn about. And then once you learn about that, like especially learning about resetting passwords, put that on your resume. Find room to include your knowledge and skills in Active Directory. Next, ticketing systems. Yeah, like dead serious. You can go out and I think it's OS Ticket. You can download a VM of OS Ticket and you can run that through VirtualBox, and that just spins up. It's like an open source ticketing system, and just kind of walk through there. I have videos on all of these things on setting up Active Directory and going through and resetting passwords and all that fun stuff. And I have a video on ticketing systems as well. So go back through the channel and look for those, because they will be very, very helpful for you. But like really, like between Active Directory, ticketing systems, like that's like so much of what you're going to be doing on a day-to-day basis. And the other part of like the ticketing systems, why I'm really mentioning that, is because oftentimes you're going to find when an organization has a ticketing system in use, if they're using it properly, which hopefully most people are these days, they put the resolution, when they close a ticket out, when a technician or anybody closes a ticket out, they should be putting in a resolution there. And this is what I did to solve this problem, blah, 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 blah. The ticketing system is going to be your knowledge base, right? Like, so when you jump into an environment, you are going to use that ticketing system as your knowledge base right away. So anytime you get a call with something, like if you are not familiar with that, you can look through the ticketing system and see if there's been any other issues like that in that environment. And if they have the resolution in there, well, you got your answer right there. So it's huge. And again, you just kind of need to know how to navigate through ticketing systems anyway, because in a help desk position, yeah, you'll be doing that a lot. You'll be getting tickets probably like all day long. I forgot my password. I forgot my password. So you'll be going into like Active Directory to reset a password. And then you'll go back to the ticketing system and say, close out the ticket and say, I reset this user's password. Close, right? So those are just like two like huge things that you need to have like a understanding of, experience with, and highlight on your resume, talk about in interviews. That stuff is going to be helpful. And outside of like the technical stuff for help desk, the biggest, like I'd say the most important aspect of any IT role, honestly, especially these days, is customer service and communication. Those are like huge, huge. And I know that's scary for some nerds. So I don't mean that offensively, because I was one of those nerds also. 100%. Like I could not talk to people at all. And it took years. Like it took many years to kind of like figure that out and kind of like actually just really figure out how to talk to people and like get over like my fears. It's not something that happens overnight. Like it's really not. But yeah, customer service, communication, those types of things are always going to be helpful for you, especially in help desk, but really any IT role. Communication is huge. Matthew Dixon, thanks, Zach, for your advice. And not only in IT, but as well as health-wise. Looking great, by the way. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I hope you're wonderful and amazing. Love the name. I don't even know why I put it on the screen. But you got it. There you go. Enjoy the humor today. You're torn between sys, net admin. You enjoy both. Any thoughts as to which path is best? Yes, I do have thoughts on which path is the best. The path that is going to be best for you is going to be the path that you decide is going to be the best for you. I'm sorry. Like, that's a really crappy answer, but that's the truth. Like, I could tell you all day long which one would pay more money, but that's not always going to be the most enjoyable. I could tell you maybe which one has more job potential, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be enjoyable for you. And to me, like, that's more important. So like, I'm not going to like tell you, hey, go for this role because that pays more money. it could be like, I could do that, right? I could say like, hey, go down this path, because if you go down that path, you're going to make the most money and you're going to have maybe better chances of getting a job. But what happens when you go down that path and you're like a year into it? Not even a year into it, maybe, or maybe you're like 3 years into it, whatever, it doesn't even matter. You go down that path and you just hate it. You hate every second of your life. And you're like, wow, thanks to that stupid YouTuber, I went down this path and I freaking hate it. I hate my life. I never should have listened to that dummy. Like, yeah, that's I'm just like putting out the scenario, right? Like that's what happens when you chase money and chase things like that. Like and especially specifically when you ask people for advice like this. The best thing that you could do is go out, I say this a lot, but really go out on the Google, go out on the YouTube, even ask ChatGPT if you would like to break down, a system administrator role, break down a network administrator role, look at the day to day. There's tons of videos for both of these positions nowadays. Like looking, day in the life of a system administrator, day in the life of a network administrator. There's going to be tons of videos for both of those. Take notes on those, like which of those seem more enjoyable based on what they are doing, every single day. That's going to be the best path for you. Always making a decision based on what you feel like you are going to enjoy. Thank you. The end. No, that's it. That's all I got for that question. Victor, how do you manage to make time when it comes to working crazy hours, projects, and still having time to take care of your health? Also, I don't know, dude. I get like 5 hours of sleep every night. That's it. That's honestly how I do it. It is not healthy by any means. Like, yeah, that's not healthy. It's something that I talk about. I've talked about a lot on this channel. I talk about with my friends a lot. Like, I sacrifice sleep so that I could do all the things that I want to do because there's no other way to do it. I have 4 kids. I work a full-time job. I don't have time. I don't have time to do the cool things that I want to do. So, yeah, I don't sleep as much as I should because I want to do all the cool things. And that's not the right answer, and I apologize. That's what I do. But everybody does things differently. It's all about how you manage your time, and you ultimately decide, like, out of all of the things that you have to do on a day-to-day or a week-to-week basis, like, which are you going to prioritize more than another, and what things can you move around to fit more time in to do the other things that you want to do. It's a really it's a really hard thing to do. I get it. Like, people always ask these types of questions, and there's never a good answer because every single human being just operates differently. All of our processes and thoughts are so different from one another. And like, again, like I say that, hey, I sacrifice sleep. That might not work for you. Like, you could try that, and that could be absolutely devastating to your health. Like, that would be terrible. So yeah, like everybody, like you guys set to, like, yeah, literally, like, sit down, write out all the different things that you're doing daily, weekly, monthly, whatever, and find out how you can shift around some of those priorities and things that you're doing to, you know, put some effort into other things that you want to do. It's hard. It really, really is. Ben Mark, you haven't started studying because you don't even know what path to take. Do you know what path to take? Is college required? Whew, this is such a good question, my man. Let's check out. Hang on. First, look at this coffee cup. It's actually only water in there right now, but it's like a camera lens. And my daughter got this for me for Christmas. It is legit my favorite cup. Seriously, freaking love it. Anyway, your question, Ben. Yeah, I have tons of videos on this channel that could help you with your question, to kind of like start setting a path for you. College is not required. So college is not required, certifications are not required, but even though they're not required, they will always be helpful for you. So again, by no means a requirement all the time, but they will always be helpful for you. As far as what path you want to take, yeah, you're in the right place. Again, there's tons of videos on this channel that can kind of help you out. Yeah, I was I'm I was like putting a video together on this to like really kind of break this down for people because honestly, like you got like Chat GPT is like so cool for this. Um, Best advice I can give for you, Ben, write this down. Start looking up different job titles and job roles. So, like help desk, network administrator, system administrator, cloud engineer, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. And look up like day to day in the life of those different job titles, and see which ones of those like are interesting to you, and keep track of that. And then, once you've kind of like watched and figured out like based off of what people are doing, like what sounds interesting to you, start looking at some of like job descriptions for those job titles, like what are those job descriptions asking for, knowledge that they're asking for, and things like that. Um, Once you kind of like have like those things kind of in mind, and you obviously like written them down, like I told you to do, hopefully, um, you can start kind of going through all the like going through your list of things, right? Like job titles, these are the things that they're doing, um, you know, and you can start to kind of figure out like, okay, like, this seems interesting to me, and like I think I like those, those different technologies and things, or it just sounds cool, right? Based off of what you learned. And then once you kind of figure that out, like once you kind of looked at, and said, okay, like this job title or these job titles are really, really interesting to me, then you can kind of go back and you'll start working backwards. Like, okay, well, what is the path to become a network administrator? What's a path to become a cloud engineer? There's tons of YouTube videos out there. There's tons of guides and stuff out there. But it's all going to start with like learning fundamentals, stuff like learning A plus, network plus, security plus knowledge. You don't have to go out and get those certifications, but just the information that you'll learn on there, very fundamental to help you in your path. So I don't know. I was kind of maybe a little bit all over the place with that answer, but I hope I answered it okay. I'm sorry. Like so many different thoughts in my head about this. I need to do like an updated video for that. Greg Allen, how does the networking career field look in the next several years? I don't know how, and nobody can answer this too, just so you know. Like nobody can answer like what anything is going to look like in the next several years, especially when it comes to technology. Technology grows rapidly and things just change like in like a heartbeat, really. Like yeah, it's crazy. So in some sense, like networking is always going to be around, right? Because we'll always need somebody to manage, our networks or switches or firewalls or, routers and blah, 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 blah. How that looks in the next several years, some of it will probably be automated a little bit more. You'll have more probably applications and software and things like that that will really help manage a lot of these things better. But you'll still have like networking positions. You'll still need people who actually have that knowledge of how VLAN, subnetting, all that crap, switching, routing, all of that works, right? You still need people to do that. It will change. How much? Who knows? How quickly? Who knows? Um, but I wouldn't say it's going away forever. The thing about like the way that like especially technology is shifting these days is just like I think jobs will be displaced, like you'll see people like losing jobs or whatever, and like other things like taking over those jobs or things like that. But look at it as more of like I think I use the word like displacement, right? You're just being displaced. Your knowledge and like the skills and stuff that you have can be taken with you into the next part of your journey, which we are going to be figuring out as the years go on. Like we don't know what like these next positions and careers look like within IT in the next couple of years, several years even, just because of like really the rate that technology is growing currently. And I think what's currently happening with like AI, automation, all that stuff. It's going to get pretty crazy in the next few years. I don't mean like we're all going to lose our jobs. That's not going to happen. It's just our jobs are going to transition. They're going to evolve, and we're going to find, ways that we are going to utilize AI and automation and all these different technologies that are coming out in the next, few years. So yeah, I don't necessarily think we'll lose jobs, we'll be displaced in some way, but we will find We'll find our next path. We'll find like how we're going to be useful as we get a grasp on what's happening right now. So I don't know. I hope that kind of answers your question in some way and helps some people. I don't know. There's so much stuff happening. There's a super chat. Hello, Ario. I'm terrible at names, but thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. You got that systems administrator shop? Congratulations. That's awesome. It's a small company. You get to have access to all kinds of different systems. That is fantastic, man. Congrats. And you say during your interview for the systems administrator role, they asked you what processes would you be if you didn't know something? What process you would, okay. What process you would go through if you didn't know something? And you walk them through that process, I would imagine. But yeah, congratulations to you, man. That's awesome. Are you right to assume that internal referrals will always out trump applying through listings and using recruiters? 100%. Yeah, especially these days. Like networking is, if you guys aren't utilizing networks and social networks and community to expand your own like network, like you guys aren't doing, you aren't doing what you should be doing to further your success or find your success. And I say this because like everything has changed in the last 4 years. Things were starting to change a little bit before that, but really like 4 years ago, things really changed drastically with this. And social networking and building out your network, as stupid as that is for some people, I get it. I hate social networking and all that stuff. I understand. It is now really going to give you a huge advantage over people who are not utilizing that. And that is just like a straight fact. If you are not getting out and being part of communities and social networking with people, like you are at a disadvantage. You are at a severe disadvantage. That is just straight facts. And I'm sorry. So yeah. Yeah. If you want to find success, network with everybody that you can. Alex, does graduator cert and CS hold more weight than the CompTIA for getting entry-level help desk jobs? You know, this is actually kind of like a really good question. A certification does not ever guarantee you anything or leverage over anything. And that same thing could be said for a degree. Degree doesn't guarantee you anything, and it doesn't guarantee that it will hold more weight than anything. And that's simply because the value of a degree or a certification is always going to be in the eye of the interviewer, right? Into the eyes of the people who are hiring, right? Like that employer, they have like a value in their minds and their heads and in their organization, how much weight that they put on somebody who has a degree versus somebody who has a certification. And specifically when it comes to help desk jobs, nothing is required. Like there is no requirement to work a help desk job. And that's because it is really quite like frankly one of the simplest jobs that you can do in IT, and it is one of the jobs that is most like covered as far as knowledge and teaching and what you need to do to be successful in that job. Because really in a help desk type of role and any type of entry level role, I said this earlier in the stream, the most important skill or whatever that you can bring to the table is customer service and communication. Like those are the things that you need to have for entry level IT. So you could be somebody who has a degree, but you have absolutely no communication and customer service skills, and you are going to, you won't get the job because somebody who comes in with maybe no degree or no certification even, but has like some level of knowledge or understanding of tech, but has like just like their customer service and communication skills just like exceed everybody by far. Like they're going to get that position because that's what that employer was looking for, right? Like I hope that makes sense. It's not what everybody like wants to hear. Everybody like just assumes and thinks like, oh, I have a degree, that means like I trump everybody who doesn't have a degree, and that's just not always the case. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful for you. Pumpkin Dream, what are your thoughts in IT bachelor's versus computer science bachelor's? Which one would I recommend? I would recommend the one that sounds like that you would enjoy more than the other one. Doesn't matter what I would recommend. It literally boils down to which one of those things are you going to enjoy more based off of like what they are teaching you. Like, so what are you going to learn in an IT bachelor's degree? What are you going to learn in a computer science degree? Like, which one of those degrees seems more enjoyable based off of that curriculum? Like, that's really what it boils down to, y'all. Because at the end of the day, this is like something like really have to stress too. Like, go for what you are going to enjoy the most when you're starting out, because that's going to make your entire journey so much more, like, so much better. Like, your entire journey is going to be so much more enjoyable because you're like relating and you're learning things that like you like, that you enjoy down the road, right? Like, once you get some experience, you can transition into like whatever IT job that you want. Like, quite literally. Once you have experience, you can go and do whatever you want. Experience is always the biggest hurdle in IT. That's the thing that always holds people back. But once you get that experience, you can start to venture off into whatever area in IT that you want to go down, because your experience is always going to help provide like that validity or whatever validation for you moving forward, that you're capable of, doing XYZ and moving forward and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful for you also. Hello, Chicho. Happy Saturday to you too. You're currently a NOC analyst and you're trying to move into security analyst role. Currently working on a couple certs. Do you have any advice that would help with this advancement? Working as a NOC analyst, trying to move in the security analyst role. So if you're currently working in a NOC, please reach out to all of your peers, managers, and maybe you have a security team there. Reach out to them and ask them if you could shadow them. Ask them if there's anything that you can help them with doing. Go to your managers and say, hey, I really want to be in a SOC. I really want to be a security analyst. What can you do to help me get there? See if they can help you. And if they're like, I don't know, that's when you say, hey, can I get more job duties, responsibilities that align with security? It's like a security analyst types of duties and things like that, or just security specific things. That way you can put that on your resume. But hopefully there's people in your organization already that you could shadow and start getting some hands-on experience with. Otherwise, I don't know, what certs are you working on? Hopefully those certs are security related, because those would be helpful for you. And then SOC, I'm going to pull up this class. This is, this is the SOC core skills class with John Strand from Anti-Siphon Training. Full disclosure, that's where I work. It's my employer, Black Hills Information Security and Anti-Siphon Training. But this is a pay what you can class. So you could pay $0. You could pay, I forget what the minimum is. Anyway, the SOC core skills class from John Strand, like, is probably the best. And I'm not just saying this because I work there. It is literally the best class that you could take to learn really everything that well, not everything, but the fundamental understanding of what you'll need to know and do or whatever to be a SOC analyst. Highly recommend that course. Please go check it out. Or class. Please go check it out. Is this live? It is live. Hello, Adventures with Dana and Jody. How are you doing? It is good to see you. Porsche 911 fan. I'm doing well. It's good to see you as well. The chat got all messed up, so I'm like trying to go back. St. Nicholas, since you are changing career to IT after working in a different field for over a decade, is it bad to have your previous unrelated work experience on your resume beyond your current education? That's all I have. Not necessarily. If you're like previous unrelated work, like you could probably find some things with your like previous unrelated work experience that you could align towards tech things. Oh man, ChatGPT is my best friend, y'all. And if you're not using it, you're at a disadvantage as well. So go on to ChatGPT, put in like your old, your old job titles and like duties and things like that, and literally ask ChatGPT, hey, how does my past experience in this job field doing these things align with a job in IT? right? Like ChatGPT literally will come back with a result saying, hey, yeah, like these are things that you did in this like unrelated work that probably could align to IT, and you probably could throw that on your resume as ways to kind of like bump up like how you can align your experience to IT. But yeah, besides that, you can list your past experience. It's fine because that's all you got. Alpha or Elf 12. Looking to get in IT with AI seemingly taking over everything. Is there still good jobs in IT? Yes. Yes, there is. AI is not in a position to take over everything yet. It's really not. There will always be, why there will always be IT jobs. And if you've heard me say this before, I apologize. And I don't mean this offensively, first of all. Like, please don't like take what I'm about to say offensively towards these people. I'm just trying to get the point across. I don't genuinely feel this way. I'm literally telling you this to get the point across. But I don't feel this way about these people. So I'm going to tell you, we are always going to have jobs in IT because end users are stupid. And because of that, we will always have jobs. AI cannot fix stupid people. Like, that's just fact. Again, I hate calling end users stupid. So I don't mean that offensively. It's just I'm trying to like, give you this perspective of like whatever. I generally don't feel like end users are stupid. They just don't know what they don't know. Calling them stupid is offensive. But I was just trying to get the point, right? Just like putting that out there. But yeah, that's why we will always have jobs, and AI won't take over. Grieg Brew, you can't find a job as a new BS software grad. You have no experience and think about starting with IT help desk. How to get the skills to be employable as IT help desk. Learn Active Directory and ticketing systems and basic troubleshooting. And literally for help desk, the only thing that you need to know is like customer service and communication skills. Really, so serious. But if you have BS in software, you should be like getting a GitHub together and doing projects and things like that, because that's how people are going to actually verify that you have some type of knowledge, experience, and things like that. Just having a degree just having a software degree these days without having a GitHub, like, yeah, so hopefully you have a GitHub. Yeah. Have I ever come across anyone with an architecture background transitioned in IT? You've doing telecom drafting for the last 10 years, wondering if that would be any way transferable. Yeah. So again, go out on ChatGPT and put in ChatGPT, hey, my past experience in architecture doing these things, like how does this align to a job in IT? And it will come back with you with like how it all aligns. It's really smart like that. It does a pretty good job of that. Like that's like these are like really, I don't mean this again, like these are like really basic questions for ChatGPT that it can like actually like put together. It's not necessarily a basic question for me to answer all the time, but like how ChatGPT will put it together for you will make so much sense, and it'll be so helpful for you. Shepard, if you did a 1-year IT course with CompTIA, is it good enough to get a decent job or making a living out of it? I have no idea what CompTIA course it is that you're talking about. That nothing is ever a guarantee. Also, like, yeah, I don't know like what a decent job and making a living for you equates to. That's like such a hard thing to talk about and discuss, because I don't know where you are in the world. And like I don't know what your requirements are to live. Like a decent job to you and a decent job to somebody like halfway across the world, probably two different things. Generally speaking, just going through a course with CompTIA, I mean, you could potentially land like entry level help desk jobs, but yeah, these days like everybody really needs to be doing more. IT as the entire industry as a whole is pretty competitive. There's so many people out there like really going above and beyond to learn things. You know, like there's people out there who have no certifications or no degrees, but they have like the most advanced like home labs that you've ever seen, or like GitHubs that you've ever seen in your life. And you're just like, well, you know, what the heck? This person doesn't have a degree or certifications, but like they're just a freaking genius, right? Um, yeah, I don't know. Like there's so many different like so many different like variables. That's the word I was looking for. There's just so many different variables to look at here. That's and like that's one of the coolest things about IT also, I feel like, especially like trying to get into IT. It's just like that nobody's path is exactly the same. Like nobody's journey has been like so completely identical to other that like they could tell somebody like, "Hey, yeah, this is the best path that you could take." Everybody's journey and path into IT is really just so completely different from one another. Is community college worth it, and what would be a great start in IT? I mean, it can be worth it. You know, it's if that's a route that you want to take, there's nothing wrong with it. Having a degree, it will always give you an advantage. Like that's just like a fact. Um, but you know, there's other variables there, of course. But yeah, having a degree is always a good thing. Purple Blue, can you get an AI programmer job without a degree? Probably, yeah. I would think so. Hmm, I think I already answered that one. What hardware is in the PC behind me? It's got a bunch of crap in it. It's actually the PC I'm using right now. Uh, it's like 2 years old too, so I've forgotten. It's got an AMD Ryzen 9, the 5950. It's got 128 gigs of RAM. It's got the I forget what video card, quite honestly. I should be better at this, but I'm not. The RTX 3080. That's what it is. Sorry. I should know that. I was just talking to my friends the other day because I'm notorious for this, and this is like one of my, like a weird thing that I like to do. Not a lot of people like to do this, but like once a year, sometimes less than that, I like to completely uh, wipe out my computer, format it, right, and then reinstall Windows. Like I love to do that because Windows is just notorious for constantly bogging down, lagging, and being a piece of crap over time. Yes, sir.
Um, so, um, Mike is trying to waste my crown again.
He is.
He's trying to join people, and then might join the game, the normal game. They might waste my crown.
Well, tell him not to waste your crown.
Yeah.
Do I need to come up there and tell him not to waste your crown?
Yeah.
Sorry, they're my children. They're playing Fortnite, and one of them got a victory royale, so he's got a crown. If you know anything about Fortnite, it's like a big deal, I guess. Anyway, uh, yeah, that hardware PC, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I was talking the other day about upgrading that thing because it's been a couple years. How do you get hands-on experience after getting like the Google IT certificate? Home Labs all day long. Look up Home Labs, please. Look up Active Directory labs. Look up like ticketing systems. You can build labs for both of those things. Those are great ways to get hands-on experience, especially after the Google IT certificate. Oh my goodness. You could like set up an Active Directory VM, and then you could like start learning about like user groups. You could start learning about group policy. Oh, there's so many fun things that you could learn about to get hands-on experience that's actually going to be like helpful for you. Um, yeah, outside of that, you could find like old computers on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, things like that. See if you could try to fix them up or just play with them, you know, take them apart, really. Like that type of stuff is fun. You know, I always like suggest like either like getting an old computer or just like installing Windows 10 on a VM or Windows 11 on a VM, playing around with it, like learning to navigate through the file systems, learning, you know, registry, the task manager, command line, like so many different things. But like use it, and I recommend doing that like in a VM or like on an old or used computer or whatever, just in case you do screw something up, especially like on a VM. Like if you screw something up, you don't ever have to worry about it legitimately being screwed up because it's in a VM. So help desk can be brutal though. Difficult users for sure. For sure. End users are the worst. They really are. I mean, they're fine, but anyway, I'm going through the chat, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm like super far behind. Let's see, 1433, and it is, yeah. So I'm like 10 over 10 minutes behind, like 13, 14 minutes behind. So I'm sorry, y'all.
Are you gonna come?
What?
Are you gonna come?
No. Just tell him not to do it or turn it off if he's not going to listen. AI makes end users more stupid. Yeah. AI is just like, it's a resource. It's a tool. It's supposed to be helpful for you. It's not supposed to do everything for you. It's just supposed to help you. Just like Google, it's supposed to help you. Everybody freaked out about Google and YouTube back in the day because it's like, oh my gosh, all this open information right at your fingertips. How can you teach people how to build a meth lab just by a simple Google search? That's not right. Oh, I don't know. Ask ChatGPT. How do you build a meth lab? They'll probably tell you exactly how to do it. Right? Just giving like really terrible examples right now. But yeah, no, ChatGPT is such a valuable tool. It really is. It's so helpful. It's not always right. AI is not always right, but gosh, it is so helpful, especially for like a stupid like me. Oh, it's so helpful. Like I'm not I joke around with this about everybody. I don't have a blog and write stuff because I suck at writing, right? Like I make YouTube videos because I am a terrible writer. Yeah, but I will tell you, like ChatGPT has definitely helped me become a better writer. Like that is actually a fact. And that's simply just from using it as often as I do to help me kind of like uh really structure my thoughts and like how I want to go about saying things, doing things, or teaching or learning things. Like it's been so helpful to really like structure my brain. Um, and I guess that like I say, like so I have like ADHD, right? So like, yeah, really it really helps structure things because my brain sometimes is just all over the freaking place. And like I do like jump around a lot between things, so but anyway, like there's it's a great tool, and it's just a tool. It's not supposed to replace anything. It's supposed to help you. X Layer, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. We appreciate each other. Appreciate you and what you're giving to this community. How did you figure out what direction in IT that I wanted to take? I'll run you through. Here we go. So back in 1998, right? This is long ago. Some of you who are in this live stream might not have even been born yet in 1998. That's sad. I'm old. Anyway, in 1998, I dropped out of high school my freshman year. And like during that time, like it was literally like probably like a month or two after dropping out, like saying F school, never going back. That's just because I was like really, really depressed, had really bad anxiety, lots of that stuff. I discovered the computer and the internet. I didn't discover the computer. I had the computer and the internet before that, or used them. But that's when I really discovered the power of the computer and the power of the internet. So it was like in 1999, like a few months later, I picked up this book called HTML for Dummies, and I taught myself how to build websites. And that was so like, I was 14, 15 years old at the time, and like I was sitting at home and I had nothing to do, and like this was stuff that interested me. So I learned how to build websites, and I built websites, did website development from like 1999-ish to 2008. So that was like a lot of like, web development, learning PHP, HTML, CSS, search engine optimization, internet marketing, like all of that stuff. Like that's what I did up until 2008. And then in 2008, I was so tired of looking at code and all of that. Like I never wanted to touch a website ever again. I was just so burnt out on it. It was like, I freaking hate HTML. And WordPress was just becoming more and more popular back in 2008, where like everybody was just shifting to WordPress, and I hated WordPress with a passion. So I was like, forget this. I had a friend who was working more infrastructure IT, and then I started doing consulting with him. So like residential consulting, virus repairs, and screen repairs, replacing keyboards, replacing hard drives and RAM and all that fun stuff. And then we did like small business consulting as well, just like the same stuff for small business. That was 2008, and then did that for a few years. 2012, 2011, I started working for a school district, doing IT support in a school district. And then like 2 years later, went to another school district. And then like a year or two after that, I started working for a hospital. And in 2014, I created this YouTube channel thing. It's called IT Career Questions, where like I just wanted to go out and like help people on the internet. And yeah, that was in 2014, the same year I started working at the hospital. And then from 2014 to 2018, I worked at the hospital, and I did like this like YouTube thing on the side. And then in 2018 is when like YouTube picked up, and I was like, I'm gonna quit my job at the hospital, and I'm gonna do this YouTube thing for my job, and like really go out and help people for a job. Like that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to help people. That's why I created the YouTube channel in the first place. And then then I made it my job for a while, and then I got really burnt out on that in 2020 because lots of stuff happened. And then I stopped doing that full time. And then like 2021, I started working for TCM Security, doing all that fun stuff. Now I'm working for Black Hills Information Security, doing fun stuff. Yeah. But how did I figure out what I'm telling you, like my journey here, because I never figured out what direction in IT I wanted to take. That's why I shared this entire story with you, is because my journey has changed quite significantly in the last 20 plus years, from starting off doing web development and internet marketing to doing consulting and IT support, doing like security awareness training, mobile device administration. Like that's the stuff I was doing at the hospital when I left, to then like going and doing like this YouTube thing, which was ultimately just like was like a complete like 360, because now everything that I do is all like internet marketing focused, and like I'm doing website stuff again, but I'm still doing tech stuff. So like everything that I'm doing now is like an accumulation of everything that I've learned over the last 20 plus years. So I'm literally get to take all of my knowledge that I've learned and put that to use. And it is really freaking weird. Really weird. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't really answer your question, but I gave you a story. And if you ask, 100 other people that same question, you're going to get 100 different stories. So yeah, I don't know. Like some people might figure it out, but I feel like you figure different parts out as your journey goes on. Your direction may change as you go through your journey, and that's okay. Like that's one of the cool things about IT. As I said this earlier, like there's so much room for you to kind of like move around and change what you're doing, and it's okay to do. So yeah, I don't know that was like exactly like answering your question, or if that was helpful, but yeah. No, I took all this. Oh my gosh. All right. There's super chat. So now I got to like scroll through here. Super chat. Feelings aside, fastest path to Lambo. Thank you, Andy Winter. I love you. Fastest path to a Lambo. If I really wanted to buy a Lambo, like if that was like my goal, like I would have to look at that. Like, do I want to do this ethically or unethically? Right? Because like ethically, it would be incredibly difficult to do. Like that's 100% pure fact. It would be very difficult to ethically buy a Lambo. Unethically buy a Lambo, it would be pretty easy to do. Like that's like the sad part about some of this stuff too, you know? Like that's the good thing about a lot of people who work in like cybersecurity and information security and things like that. It's just like, like we all have the knowledge to do bad things. We like really truly do. But we don't because we're good people. Like that's what I appreciate so much about specifically the cybersecurity community. Like here's all of these really intelligent, amazing, smart people who do things for good when it is so incredibly easy to do things for bad. They choose to do good, and that's what I love to see. That's what that makes me so incredibly happy. But yeah, fastest path to a Lambo, unethically. I'm not going to walk you through that process because that would be unethical of me to do. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to click that one. What's up, Sid? Oh my gosh, I love this question. Isray, hopefully I said your name right. How long does it take to learn everything in IT? Probably like millions of years. And I'm not even kidding you. Like, I am not even kidding. It would take you millions of years to learn everything in IT. Like, and just think, like, as you're going through and trying to learn everything about IT, like everything's going to change along that journey. So it's like you're constantly in a learning journey because IT always changes and evolves, and it's constantly a learning journey. So you will never learn everything that it's in IT. Nobody knows everything. If somebody tells you that they know everything about anything in IT, they are a liar. Like straight facts liar. It's impossible. Even like somebody who's like a quote unquote expert, right? Like say like they are an expert in Exchange and they've worked in Exchange for 20 plus years, right? They still don't know everything about Exchange, guaranteed. Like it's just like there's so many people I think have this assumption like that you need to know everything in order to work in IT, or that you need to know like so many different things just to get started. And the fact is, like, you just need to know how to find the information. Like, that's what you need to know. Like, you need to know how to Google and use Chat GPT because those are great tools for you that are always going to help you down your like in your journey. Like, it's just there's just no way you're going to learn everything. You just need to know how to find the answers to everything. Yeah, great question though. Zach Luna, thank you very much for the super chat, brother. Always appreciated. So, is AI going to replace me as a sysadmin? You worked too damn hard and studied for too long just to get replaced by a robot. Nah, man. AI is not going to replace you. Like, just think about like AI is not at a point right now to be replacing everything or anything really. It still has a lot of work to do. So that means like you have years ahead of you to kind of figure out how you get to navigate your future around AI. And that might involve you learning more about AI yourself and how you can utilize AI in your position to make you a better sysadmin or a more valuable sysadmin so nobody gets rid of you, right? Like AI is not going to replace you. It's going to be a tool to help you and further your career. That's how you need to look at it because AI isn't going anywhere. It's definitely not going anywhere. So, us as IT professionals, we need to figure out how we can utilize AI and learn from AI and, grow our careers alongside it. Like that. Yeah, that's what's up. You're not going to get replaced by a robot. I need to scroll down, make sure I'm not missing any super chats. What's up, Dana, the tech teacher? Good to see you back as a name that I would recognize you as, not as the other name that you were in here as earlier. AI won't replace IT, but it will be a tool that the techs will use. Oh, I just said that. We're on the same page, bro. Jacob Thompson. So you're doing a lot of community manager stuff. Do you miss IT support? I'm doing like so much more than community manager stuff, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Do I miss IT support? No, I don't miss IT support. I don't. Like, so like the trajectory of my career, if I would have stayed working in IT, would have been to transition into some type of cybersecurity role. I really, really enjoyed doing security awareness training at the hospital that I was at. And that's like where I was aligning my career, is to do more security awareness training and learn more about security awareness. That was like something I'm extremely passionate about. Like I love social engineering, like that. Yeah. Well, so yeah, I don't miss IT support, but if I ever had to go back into IT, it would definitely be more probably security awareness type of training thing. I feel like that would align the most with like me, and that would allow me to be a little bit more technical with things. Because yeah, like I do miss some of the IT stuff, but like in my position for the last few years, it's just like everything that I do is like in some ways like intertwined with a lot of technical things and knowledge. So I still have to like keep myself up to date with a lot of things, and like I'm still interested in a lot of things myself, like personally. Like just with Black Hills, the other week they were talking about like um some phishing stuff, and like again social engineering and stuff like that's my jam. So them talking about phishing, and they're just don't want to give a lot of details, but they're talking about how like they're some things were happening with like phishing sites that they were using, that they were setting up. And like I had some knowledge in that. So I was like, I was like asking questions. I'm like, hey, are we doing like these things to make sure like that those things don't happen? And can we look at like these things to see if that would be why like those things are happening? Um, and that was like really cool for me. Like that made me feel like, honestly, like that made me feel good, because it's like, dude, I looked at what they were doing and I was like, I understand this, and this is really freaking cool. And it blew my mind what they were doing, and it blew my mind what was actually happening. But it was just like really cool. Like, hey, I can actually maybe contribute to this. So like I still have those opportunities, and that's good for me, because I think for the first probably like 2 years, no, probably like first probably half of me doing like well, probably the first couple of years of doing YouTube or whatever, it was like full time. Like I did feel this pain, and it's something I talked with like Dwan Lightfoot about like a lot. And he helped me here. But like one of the things that I did struggle with for a while is like not being as technical as I once was. But what what I've done to kind of like not let that bother me as much is just try to forcefully involve myself in things that are more technical, just so that I can, feel that stuff again, like feel that whatever you want to say. And hello, Jacob Thompson. It's good to see you, brother. I should have started with that, but I appreciate your question. Alita Baker, your videos helped me get where you are in IT. Well, congratulations to you. I'm glad that I could be helpful in any way. Law of Chaos. So I'd have a high school. I got my GED in 2010. Yep. A good enough diploma. And I only got the good enough diploma because I wanted to be sure that as I was going back into like the real workforce, because I had never really technically been in like a real workforce, if you will, because I did so much consulting and stuff. Like the first years of me working in IT. I went out and got my GED because I was worried like people would be like, "Oh, you don't have like you don't have a GED or a diploma. We're not going to hire you." Nobody cared. Literally, nobody's ever cared. Like, legit. Matt, thank you. I love the hat too. I just got it today. Just got it just hot off the press today. Cyber Vega, for the SOC course with John, does your local machine really need to meet the hardware specs, or can you use a VM instead? You can use VM. And I think there's some like virtual labs and stuff that you can get along with the SOC course with John. If you want to reach out to me, if I don't know if we're connected on LinkedIn, or you can just send me an email, zach@blackhillsinfosec.com, and I can help you out if you have questions. But what was I going to type in? I was going to type in a URL for something. What was it? I forgot. Never mind. Oh, LinkedIn. LinkedIn.com/in/I am nerdy. Go ahead and connect with me on LinkedIn and ask your question. GED gang, what's up? Represent. So this is actually like when I met with John Strand, who he's the CEO of Black Hills. I was very upfront with him, because like he's like, give me your story, and I was like, all right, I'm going to give you my story, and I literally gave him my story and went back just like I did earlier in the stream. I was like, yeah, man, I dropped out of high school when I was 14, and these are the things that I did. And then yeah, he's like, yeah, I don't really care about that. He's like, I'm pretty sure like half of my pen testers don't have a college degree or diploma, so not a big deal, dude. It's like, yeah, I know, I was just giving you my story though. There you go. Jacob, you're hopefully moving into a cybersecurity role soon. Good luck, brother. I am thinking of you and sending my best thoughts your way. But you think that you'll miss some of the easier days of have you turn it off and back on again? Yeah. You probably will always miss those days, but you're going to be doing a lot more fun stuff, man. Good luck. It's going to be fun. You'll look back and you'll just be like, I kind of missed that, but what I'm doing now is so much more fun. XO Livewire. Funniest IT support ticket was for computer not powering on, which was determined nothing wrong due to the building had no power. Gotta love call-in tickets. That's a pretty good one. Oh man. How to use Google? Like what do you mean? How to use Google? Do you need a how-to course on how to Google properly? Or like how to use like Google Apps and stuff? I don't know. Jesse Johnson, what's up, brother? It's so good to see you. Good enough diploma equal Jesse. Nobody has ever blinked. Got your Rekka shirt this week. Cheers. Oh, that's awesome, brother. We're gonna have some hats on the store soon. It's lovely hats. Seriously, so excited about these hats. BHIS for the win. Hundo%. I love my job. For real. Super chat from Porsche 911 fan. Thank you, brother. Hello. You're gearing up to take the Security Plus. You recommended the Google Cybersecurity Cert as well. Also check that link from the last stream as well. Yeah. So like those kind of go hand in hand with one another. The Google or the Security Plus really is more fundamental kind of knowledge, like give you the knowledge methodologies types of things, which is good. It's fine. I think the Google cybersecurity cert more aligns with like SOC, like a SOC role, like SOC analyst and stuff like that. And it gets you a little bit more hands-on with some of those different like technologies and methodologies and things like that. So I feel like, yeah, they both go like hand in hand with one another and are very, very helpful for one another. The Security Plus is going to be more valuable and marketable than the Google one, but the knowledge and information that you learn from the Google cert is very good as well. Hey, you want to get into cybersecurity, preferably pen testing? Where would I suggest you start? What course search should you pursue? I would actually honestly suggest that you start with John Strand's SOC core skills class, and then take your knowledge, your learning from there. This is the link in the chat. Go check out that. That's what's up. It'll do you well. Yeah, Jesse Johnson's right too. I should have told you. I should have told that person to go for the SOC Porsche 911. Take John Strand's SOC core skills class. I don't know why I can't freaking say that. Oh, hang on. Do I have any good study tips for Security Plus in terms of staying engaged with the study and keep slacking with it? Yeah, it's hard, man. Like I did like Professor Messer for my Security Plus, and then I did like CompTIA's training, and I failed my Security Plus the first time, and then it wasn't until watching IT Pro TV's accelerated Security Plus course that like really unlocked like my learning journey for the Security Plus. It was so much better. So yeah, you might just have to try to, like multiple resources until you find one that like really sticks with you and gets you engaged. Rolando, you're starting an information assurance and security analyst role in 2 weeks. Congrats. Good luck to you. You've worked as a system administrator for almost 3 years. Any advice for the new role? 1 second. Oh, sorry, I had a cough. Advice for the new role: ask questions. Often they're going to do things probably much differently there than what you're used to. So, like the best way to go about a lot of the questions that you're going to ask in this new environment is, "Hey, I'm used to doing X, Y, and Z this way. How do you guys do things here?" You know, make sure you're asking questions like that to make sure that you're gaining as much knowledge as you can on the protocols, procedures, and steps that they take in the new environment to do things. But yeah, good luck to you, man. Just be a sponge. Be the dumbest person in the room. And thank you, sir. It has been a journey for sure. Cyber Vega, I did get your request, my friend. Check out Slay Security Plus community too. Jesse, throw a link for that in the chat, brother. I will be joining Jesse Johnson on a live stream at some point in time here. If he ever responds back to me and like sends me an invite for a date, I will be joining him on a stream. But until he, decides to like set the day and time, I don't know when that will be. But we are planning on it. Rolando studied with Professor Messer also. He's great. Best advice I could best advice I could have for anybody taking Professor Messer classes on the YouTube is like 2 times speed that stuff, because he is dry and talks very slowly. That's solid advice. Professor Messer is boring as AF. Yeah, he is very boring. That's why you gotta 2 times that stuff, man. Do I think aliens will ever hack us? I hope they do. That would be cool. Right? Calendly invite sent. Is that right? Where at? Is it in my email? It's not on LinkedIn. Which email did it go to, Jesse Johnson? And I'm checking my email. Checking it twice. I don't see any Calendly invites. Did you send it to my Black Hills email? Did you send it to my IT career questions email? Where's that, Jesse Johnson? I think you're a liar. Ben Mark, am I going to Black Hat 2024? I don't believe so. I'll be at DEF CON. We'll be at DEF CON for sure. Let's see. I have a lot of places that I will be this year. So in like 3 weeks, I will be in Las Vegas for the Right of Boom conference. That is a conference that is mostly for like MSPs and stuff like that. So if you're in Las Vegas or you'll be at Right of Boom, you can come say hi. I'd love to see you. We'll have lots of stuff there. After Right of Boom, I will be going to Colonel Con in Idaho. In Idaho, in Boise. Yeah. Or no, Nebraska. No, Nebraska. It's in Nebraska. It's in where's it at? Yeah, I don't know. I forget where it's at. What's the big one in Nebraska? The town, like there's only like one frickin' city in all of Nebraska that everybody knows, and I cannot think of it right now. Shoot. Anyway, Colonel Con in Nebraska. We go into that. And then after that, going to, I think I'm going to go to Hackspace Con in Florida. Then B-Sides Charm in Baltimore. And yeah, then DEF CON and then Wild West Hackin' Fest. And then I might be going to Kenya for a B-Sides. B-Sides Kenya. What else is in Nebraska? It might be by Lincoln, but I don't know. Yeah. That's everything on my agenda so far this year for travel to conferences and things like that. Any advice on how to keep from getting distracted when working from home? No, dude. Oh, no. It's hard. It is really hard. Yeah, it's hard. I don't have good advice for you. When people are home with me, I'm easily distracted and it sucks. So, and my office is in my basement, so I try to like seclude myself frequently so that like I can have like a space where I won't get distracted. But yeah, it's hard. Do I visit the dark web regularly? I have never in my entire life been on the dark web, ever in my entire life, and I have zero interest of doing so. Like, it is there's literally nothing on the dark web that would like pique my interest. Nothing at all. Like, waste of time, effort, energy, all of the things. Do I wear hats at work? Yes. Technically, you could say like I'm at work right now and I have a hat on. You know, I wear hats every day. Look, like if you guys see, like there's a hat behind me, like there's another hat behind me. And if I move even further, wait, oh, no, this is the stack of hats. See, there's hats on hats. Hats on hats. I like hats. I wear lots of hats. Even in my job, I wear many hats. Officially sent. Okay. Officially sent where? All right. You sent it on LinkedIn. I got you. You did it. You did. Do I recommend CISA Plus or Pentest Plus or both? I recommend neither. Unless somebody is going to pay for them for you. If like you have to pay for those out of your own pocket, neither. If somebody else pays for you, probably the CISA Plus. Aren't private servers technically the dark web? Like, what do you mean by private servers? Exactly. Explain. Your turnover on Tech 1 position where you're at is every 2 years. We get a new couple Tech 1 positions as they move onward to better roles. Yep. Typical turnaround time in IT positions is like 3 to 4 years. Like, or probably like 2 to 4 years, I guess, before you're like transitioning and moving. What Rolando says, the CYSA Plus is useless. I would tell you that the only useful certification from all of CompTIA, this is the most valuable certification that they offer. It will give you the best knowledge to really be, I think, effective and helpful. And it really provides us the most marketability. That's the CompTIA Security Plus. All other CompTIA certifications, don't even waste your money. I'm sorry. Dang, boy, someone got a bunch of new threads. What's up, Adriana? How are you doing? It's so good to see you. You like my new hat? I got a new hat. You like my new hat? I got a new hat. It's time to retire. It's not actually time to retire. The Run CMD hat, but the Run CMD hat will always be here. Here. There we go. That is what's up, EO. You got your CISSP? Congratulations. You've been to the dark web, that is, when you first heard about it back in 2015. You felt dirty. Haven't been back since. Yeah. It's just not appealing to me. Like, what is on the dark web that I could get that I couldn't get on the regular internet? You know, like legally. That's like the key word out of all of this that I didn't like throw in earlier that I should have. Like, yeah, there's everything that I need on the internet is on, like, you know, the public internet, you know, like the global internet, not this dark web stuff. Do I play video games? I play video games sometimes, a little bit, just like World of Warcraft Classic Season of Discovery. To be specific, that's literally it. I don't have time for lots of games. I'm sorry. You like the hat and the blue shirt? The blue shirt is my favorite. When I saw that they had this, like, that was the first thing that I grabbed. I was like, I have to have this shirt. That is a Zach shirt right there, and I want it. Yeah. You need one of them new hats. Just saying, where may you purchase one? Are you talking about the Rekka hats, the hacker hats? Those are not yet available on the Spearfish store, but they will be soon. I can link you to the Spearfish store, but just understand that, you know, they're not there yet. But you could set like you could set up a Google alert for this page, so that, like, when this page gets updated, you get like an email and it says, hey, the Spearfish store was updated. And then maybe when that happens, it'll be because, like, that update, you know, it's because, like, we put the hats on the store, and then you could get one. Or I could maybe I could send you one. Oh, just seasons on WoW, not a nerdy game or anything. And yeah, the shirt looks like you. Yeah, it's not a yes, just seasons on WoW. It's not nerdy at all. It has been like the best experience of World of Warcraft that I've had since playing the game the very first time. It's enjoyable. I like it a lot. Sec Plus was one that made you feel like you had the power. Yes, I have the power. CCNA and Net Plus kind of sucked. It was more book knowledge and hands-on. A Plus and 99 was way better than the trash that they have now. CCNA out of all those is like the most valuable certification. Yes, sir.
Maverick's not letting me have a turn.
He's not? Why not?
With my friend Jackson.
With your friend Jackson? I'm sorry. Go tell him to let you have a turn. Yeah, I'm about to turn this off in like a minute because I've been doing it almost for like 2 hours. So. Yep. I'm gonna come up right now. So on that note, as you heard, I'm gonna go spend some time with my kids. It's been a lovely hour and 43 minutes chilling with you guys, answering questions, chatting, seeing some familiar faces. I love seeing you guys, like, for real, and hanging out. Yeah, since I paid for this thing for a whole year, like Restream, on accident, and I'm too lazy to call them up and be like, hey, refund my money, and I just want to do this monthly. I have to force myself now for the next year to do as many live streams as I possibly can so that I can get my money's worth on Restream, because that was like $500. Yeah. So we'll do more live streams, and I would love to bring on guests. So, like Jesse Johnson, I'll be sending you a link just randomly one day to, like, come in the Restream backend, and you can just join the live stream. It'll go for lots of people. Just come hang out and do this stuff. So anyway, thank you all for joining. It's been a wonderful Saturday. Hope you learned something fun and exciting today, and do good stuff. And have a great day and stuff. And I'm trying to hit end on this live stream. It's